Loon, Josh.
Prod by Magical.
Loon, Cash. Loon, Josh. Loon. Chip on chick, get her wet, get her wild. They lean her when she smile. Them gyal like them we rub you on time. And me nah talk money, them we make you lose your mind. Pull up your stress. Me too stubborn, me love them to death. Pull up your stress. Me too stubborn.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Marlon and I podcast. I'm your host, Marlon. If you don't know, I also go by Hidden Token. Let me just clear up a few things for you guys. I want to get into a few stuff. First off, about myself, I haven't really spoken much about myself since I started this podcast, and I just want to give a general breakdown of everything that I've been doing, who I am as a person, what I'm trying to accomplish here in while I'm doing a podcast. So I created this platform, Hidden Token, as a way to do like video game content, engage with a lot of people. My whole goal is to just engage with as much people as I could possibly engage with. I love media. I've been a fan of media for a long time now. I've been a fan of podcasts for a long time now. And I have so many things that I really try to do as far as like social media is concerned. I don't really feel like I have a niche, so to speak. So I kind of just like, bounce around and do like so many different things. I do movie reviews. I do video game content. I do TikTok. I do skits. So, one of the things I really wanted to do was a podcast. I feel like, I have so much stuff to talk about and so much things to give my opinion on that doing a podcast would actually be beneficial for me. And it's something I know I would enjoy doing because, I always have like an opinion to give on general topics that's going on in the media in the world today. So I was like, I'm going to just start this up and just see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I have TikTok. So if you follow me on TikTok, you can follow my game account and movie account. What I really do, like video game content and movie content, movie reviews and stuff like that. I do a lot of that on the @HiddenToken1 account, and I have another account @RealCoolBoy 2Ys1. So you can follow those accounts. Right now, I think on TikTok, the Real Cool Boy 1 account has like 30,000 followers. The @Hidden Token account is fairly new. That one has like 1,300, which is crazy because I had started a Hidden Token account on TikTok a while back, and I started doing it from the ground up, and I had built 600 followers, but then I was trying to record something off of YouTube, like some kind of like a video conference or something to do a video with, and I got a strike from TikTok and they just banned my account altogether, like completely banned my account. I couldn't get it back. There was nothing I could do. I tried to, have TikTok, I tried to contact TikTok. It was hard to contact them. There was really no way for me to actually recover this account. So I started a whole new Hidden Token one. I tried appealing the situation. They didn't give me back the old account. So now I'm at 1,300 followers on the Hidden Token 1 account. So I'm doing pretty good as far as like building my account. I understand like the rules of how to build an account on social media. So that's what I've been doing. And now here I am on YouTube. If you go down through my YouTube, you can scroll, you see I upload video gameplay. Sometime I upload movie reviews, I upload music reviews, and now here we are doing a podcast. So I just want you to know a little bit about me, that, I'm just trying to be as tapped into the media world as much as I can. My goal is to really try to engage with as much people as possible and really have like a decent following where I could really engage with you guys, really have conversations with you guys, and really let you know my thoughts and opinions and really get to meet people down the line. I wanted to do the podcast every Saturday or every weekend if possible, so like Saturday, Sundays. I'm still trying to work out like a scheduling for the podcast and everything like that. It's just been really hard because, podcast is time consuming. You have to really like put in a lot of time into doing podcasts. And it's hard to do it when you're somebody starting off like me, when you're just starting off and you're not really getting a revenue, you're not really getting no general income from it. So I still have to find ways to kind of like make a general income. So, you know, today's Monday. Yesterday was the Sunday. Today is the 12th. So over the weekend, I really wanted to. This is why I wasn't able to upload this over the course of the weekend, because I really wanted to do the podcast Saturday and Sunday, but I had other things going on. Saturday, I did a movie review with my boy Andrew. Go follow him at Leche718. And I did the movie review with him for the Marty Supreme movie, so that's up on my YouTube right now. So we did that, and I didn't get to do the podcast because I had so many things going on, and I still had to kind of like go out and try to make some money because, you know, I still got to make some income to make things run and to do the things I want to do. So until I start actually getting some revenue from this, you know, right now it's all fun. Right now it's just something I enjoy. It's just what I want to do. I don't really, you know, I'm not worried about it too much, but, you know, if I start ever getting like some kind of revenue from this, it'll be a lot easier for me to have consistent scheduling where I could bring and drop the podcast every weekend. So that's that situation. But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great, you know, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your Monday is going good so far. Today is the 12th of January, and we are getting started with the podcast, episode 3. So you already know I'm here. I'm feeling good. I just had a really big breakfast, so I'm energetic right now. I got the energy. I could get into what I want to get into. So first I want to start off by talking about the Celina Powell and Offset situation. Now, I think I discussed this situation on the first or the second episode. I'm not too sure. I think it was like the first episode, I think. I don't know. But I started talking about the Celina Powell and Offset situation, where Offset was seen in bed with this model that was, you know, she's like, she bases her, you could say she's kind of like an escort, but she's not, because the way Celina Powell works is Celina Powell is a girl, you know, she's a young girl who she's got big in the industry where she was like sleeping with a lot of celebrity guys. If you watch like Academics, I was watching his conversation about it. He basically explains a lot about her because he actually messed around with her at some point in the past. They was fucking around, you know, and Celina Powell used to fuck around with Offset back in the day. And apparently what Academics was explaining was that Offset had an issue where he was messing with Celina Powell, and I guess like he was married to Cardi at the time. He was either married to Cardi or just dating Cardi, but I know that Cardi was in the picture, and Celina had came out with this rumor that she was pregnant by Offset, but it was a fake rumor. She wasn't really pregnant. So, you know, Academics was explaining a lot about that and how, like, Celina Powell basically gets her coins off of, like, sleeping with rappers. That's how she got her clout. That's how she got her money. She slept with a lot of famous, celebrity, rich rappers. And she's been doing this for a long time, you know. She's, like, one of those industry women that is not ashamed to be who she is. She will let you know, listen, I slept with these guys. She'll tell you she slept with them. She'll tell you what happened. She'll tell you who these people are behind closed doors. She gives like off all this tea. Like she is the human embodiment of a tea app, right? So that's what Celina Powell is. She's a woman that decided to get her build on social media by like sleeping with a lot of famous celebrity rappers, famous celebrity men. You know what I'm saying? And that's how she got to where she is today. She's one of those girls though that at the end of the day, you know, she's still trying to find like that love relationship, and she'll give you whatever you want. Like she'll pay for stuff, she'll give you money, she'll make you happy, she'll do whatever it is that you want her to do as long as, you know, you and her are together, and as long as, you know, she can say that, hey, that's my boo, that's my man. You know what I mean? So she's it's kind of like a good hoe. You know what I'm saying? It's a hoe that has a good heart, but at the core of who she is, she's just that person who she sleeps with whoever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it to be like, maybe that's not what she is today, maybe that doesn't define who she is today, maybe she's a different person and she's really just looking for one person, but that's how she came up in the industry. So that's her story. So she was messing with Offset back in the day. Now fast forward today, her and Offset relinked, and now Offset is seen with her in bed, and apparently she must have gave Offset some money, like $15,000, I think, to go and gamble at a casino. Offset, rumor has it through the grapevine that Offset has been spending a lot of time in casinos. There's actual Instagram footage of him seeing with like regular people. They're taking pictures of him. They're meeting him in the casino because Offset has been, in the casino trying to gamble and make money. Apparently he's behind on taxes. He must owe like $2 million to the IRS right now in taxes. He owes a lot of money. And this is one of the reasons why he is trying to get Cardi to pay his taxes, because he himself doesn't have the money to pay the taxes. He's trying to win money at the casinos by, he's gambling, and so he's trying to win the money so he can pay off all his debt, all this stuff that he owes. Because in Offset's situation, I don't feel like, ever since the Migos kind of broke up and everything that's happened, I feel like Offset's career hasn't been the way it was when they was as a group. Now that he's a solo artist, and now that he's making music, without the team and his group, without Quavo, and rest in peace to Takeoff, it's just Offset by himself. So now he's like really struggling as far as financially is concerned. So he borrows money from Celina Powell, and now he doesn't want to pay her back because he's been losing all that money in the casinos. He's been gambling the money away. He's been losing the money, and Celina Powell, she was trying to kind of like be his boo, be his main thing, but she evidently found out that she's not the only woman in the picture. Offset has a main squeeze. He has a girl. He has like all these other side girls. So that kind of like threw her to the left and made her say, okay, I thought that we were actually doing something together, and since we're not doing nothing together, I need you to pay me my money back or whatever. But Offset hasn't been trying to pay her the money back. He's not trying to reimburse her for the money that he took from her. So this led to a series of unfortunate events, because now she's on Finsta, and Finsta app is like, I don't know too much details about the Finsta app. Let me see, let me look it up. But apparently Finsta app is one of those apps where celebrities, celebrity men could actually go on there, and it's like, I guess it's like some kind of an Instagram account that you can meet like women that's willing to sleep around, or you can meet people that's willing to pay for sex or something like that. I guess that's what the situation is with that. But she unloaded a whole bunch of like recordings and a whole bunch of like videos, and I guess there's people that actually is sending her money to get information on what Offset was about, or like whoever she slept with. Celina Powell's not one of those girls you want to sleep with and you want to like make her fall for you and then you want to cross her, because she is like a whole tell-all. You know what I'm saying? She is going to kiss and tell. She's going to say everything that happened between her and that person. She's going to tell the world about that person and how that person is, what that person is going through. She let everybody know that Offset doesn't have the money to pay for his debt. She's letting everybody know that Offset is sending out threats to her and apparently to Stefan Diggs. And I think this is where things get a little bit more complicated for Offset, because now how I feel about this situation is, I don't know if Cardi knows what's going on, and I don't know if Cardi cares, and I don't think she cares, because she's with her new man, right? So, but I do know that Offset is now in a situation where he has this woman basically crying wolf. She's claiming that Offset is out here making threats on her life and making threats on Stefan Diggs, right? That could be a problem for Offset, because the thing about it is, it's one thing to say, okay, it's one thing to get caught with this girl and sleeping with her even though you're married to Cardi B. I don't think that's an issue, because at the end of the day, Cardi's moved on, so Offset is going to do what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? But it is a problem now when the girl you're sleeping with has this kind of leverage over you. You know what I'm saying? Because now she has the leverage of saying, well, not only does this man owe me money, but he's putting threats on my life. She claimed, I was watching something where she also claimed that she went to the casino, Offset was there, and he actually tried to get girls to beat her up. So that's where they are as far as like, you know, what's going on. The relationship is concerned. So Offset owes her $15,000. He's also like putting out threats apparently towards her. You know, there was a let me see. Yeah, so somebody posted on Instagram at Bardis Media. So they said that Offset threatens to get Celina Powell jumped after he refused to pay the $15K he owes. This man is truly a danger and needs serious help. You see, when people start posting things like that and like things like that start circling around the internet. And the thing is, I don't know if Offset even knows what's going on. I don't know if this man has left the casino. I don't know if he's still, he apparently from what I'm hearing, he's been living in the casino. He's literally been there day in, day out. You know, he goes in his room probably a little bit, gets room service and goes back to the casino. He's been drinking, he's been smoking, he's been stressed because he's been losing more money than he's actually putting in. So now, you know, you have people that are not only meeting him at the casino and they're posting pictures of him to actually validate what's going on, but you have Celina Powell that's also sharing like information that she recorded, like phone conversations, text messages about how Offset has been threatening her and Cardi's new boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? And threatening Stefon Diggs, you know, now that the thing about it is this one thing when you're doing stuff like this and nobody knows about it, but now that people are knowing about it, people are aware of it. So now you got to kind of think about this from the mind of somebody like a Stefon or a Cardi. Like now you see that Cardi's ex-husband or whatever the case is out there saying things like this. Now you're kind of aware of what's going on. So even if that was something Offset was going to try to do, it's like now he's going to have a harder time making this happen when now this person is aware of the threats that you're sending them because the girl or the side chick that you were sleeping with is now leaking this type of information to the public. So Offset is down bad, y'all. And it really is sad because, you know, I've never seen somebody like literally just ruin their whole life the way Offset is ruining his whole life. You know what I'm saying? He had, and honestly, if Offset has I don't know if Offset had a gambling issue. I don't know if Offset had a gambling issue while he was with Cardi or after the fact. Like, I don't know if this started while he was married to her or after, you know, they separated. Because if he had the gambling issue while he was married to Cardi, then that means that this is probably one of the reasons why Cardi and Offset is no longer together. This is probably one of the reasons, aside from just because Cardi did state that aside from the cheating, there was way other reasons as to why, you know, she felt like she had to divorce from Offset. So this could be one of the reasons why Cardi B decided to even go through with this divorce fully, because who knows how much money he was taking from Cardi B, you know, and spending it and squandering it and gambling it, right? Because I feel like when the group separated and like Offset went his separate ways, you know, Takeoff and Quavo went their, you know, they did their thing. I feel like Offset was, because at the end of the day, Quavo still had Takeoff. He was still doing music with Takeoff, where Offset was just doing music with Cardi. Offset wasn't really doing music with the group. I didn't really remember Offset doing music with Takeoff or Quavo. He was just doing music either by himself or with Cardi. So at that point, I felt like his career was on a steady decline, and the only reason why he was really kind of like seeing good numbers was because he had Cardi B on the song. And now that he's no longer doing music with Cardi, this is why he's also trying to get Cardi to pay for his taxes, because he feels like when they was doing music together that he was contributing to her as much as she was contributing to him. But the reality is now that he doesn't have Cardi, he's not seeing the same amount of numbers. He's not making that kind of revenue. He's not getting no money. He's kind of broke, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, like I said, it's kind of downhill from there, you know? So he goes and he messes with this chick, and I don't know why you would mess with a girl like her, knowing the kind of girl that she is, and then kind of like screw her over the way you are, because now this girl is on here putting all this information out there, letting everybody know the kind of guy you are, and you're going to look bad into the eyes of the public. Now you're looking like, you know, you're looking like kind of like misogynistic, like a womanizer. You're gaslighting this chick into, you know, you're taking money from her. You know, you're making her believe that you and her have something going on, or that y'all could be a possible thing, when in reality that's not the case. You're just using her for money so you can try to win money and to pay off your debt. And then when you no longer need her, you just throw her away, and you can't do that to somebody like her, because now she's going to put all your business out there. And that's literally what she's doing. She is putting all of his business out there, and she's putting all the tea out there and letting everybody know exactly what happened with her and Offset. And I feel like this could be very bad for Offset. If he doesn't kind of like change up how he's like moving right now, you know what I'm saying? He has to figure out which direction he's trying to go, because this can only get from bad to worse if he continues down this same path, you know? Celina posted on her stories, tired of this grown man threatening me almost every day and got me living in fear because he owes me $15,000. I tried to get my money back for weeks and all I've gotten is threats. So that's not good. You know, that is not good. And this can only, you know, bite Offset in his ass. You know what I'm saying? This can only make things go from bad to worse, you know? And I really wish there was some way that I could defend Offset, because I was an Offset fan. I love the music, but he's really looking bad right now. And I don't see him really, you know, coming back from this unless he, you know, I don't know at this point. Do what you did before. Find you some rich chick, settle down, and let her build you back up, because at this point, Cardi don't want you back. And even your side chick don't want you back. Celina Powell, she's done with you because, you know, you had a thing with her where she was throwing you the pumps. You know what I'm saying? She was throwing you the cat left and right. She was giving it to you. She was giving you money. This girl is literally paying Offset and giving him the pumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's paying this man money, she's giving him money, and she's giving him her body. So it's like she's doing all that. He's literally like kind of like pimping this girl out. You know what I'm saying? And all the while he's doing that, he has another chick, his main chick, that he's still providing for and he's still taking care of. So it's like, you know, Offset right now is like spiraling. There's things happening in his life that I don't think he even sees the direction of how bad this can get if he doesn't fix this and, you know, deal with this more sooner than later. Because at the end of the day, you can't just depend on, you know, Cardi B's money or the divorce lawsuit settlement or whatever. You can't depend on what you're trying to get from Cardi B as the end all be all to say that that's what's going to help you, you know, get yourself back together. Because right now, if you don't think of something or work something out, either with Celina or either with your baby mother, however you got to do it, it's not gonna benefit you to keep going to the casino trying to win money and you're losing more than you're winning. At the end of the day, you're gonna end up digging yourself in a deeper hole than where you originally started. And that's what I see happening for Offset if he doesn't kind of like get this situation resolved, right? So I don't know what it is about these celebrities. Like, I feel like, you know, Celina Powell is one of those girls that, like, apparently a bunch of men in the industry, all these men have messed with her, all these men have slept with her. She's been passed around more times than, you know, probably almost anybody else in the industry. And, you know, she's proud of it. This is something that you can honestly have a conversation with her about, and she'll tell you, like, yeah, you know, this is what she does. You know, you can't really, like, how can you shit on somebody? Like, you can't really say nothing bad about her, because anything you try to say bad about her, she's just gonna accept it as, okay, yeah, well, and, you know, so this is what she does. This is how she is. And I just don't see the thing I don't like about these industry celebrities, these male celebrities, is I don't see the point in you messing with a girl that's been passed around by hundreds of other guys. You know, and I think that's just gross. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a nasty industry. You know, the way that these guys carry themselves, the way that they deal with these women, like, it's like a competitive game. You know what I'm saying? It's like a competitive game where everybody's trying to see if they can get the same type of girl, or they're trying to see if they can get the girl that Chris Brown had, or they're trying to see if they can get the girl that Usher had. I don't know, but it just seems like they're just passing around the same chicks. You know, from Instagram to OnlyFans, TikTok, they go after the same type of women, and then these women all have like different insights on these guys, and you know, you find out all this information through the lips of a fucking girl that's been passed around by hundreds of other guys in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Because Celina Powell knows a lot about most of these male celebrities, and she knows a lot about Offset. Sad to say, you know, Offset and her had a history. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when Offset was married to Cardi B, apparently Cardi B knew about Celina Powell, and that was one of the things that kind of like was like messing up their marriage. And I feel like that was one of the things that kind of made Cardi kind of stop trusting Offset. That was probably Offset's downfall to begin with. Celina Powell probably was part of the problem. And then to go from that and then going back to messing with her to now this, it just shows you where his mind is at. I don't even think he cares at this point what he does or who he's with, as long as he can somehow benefit from them. Because Offset is like one of those people that he's just trying to find someone who can, who he can sponge off of, someone who he can, manipulate into like helping him accomplish whatever he's trying to accomplish. However he's trying to get money, however he's trying to pay off his debt, whatever he's trying to do, he's just trying to get it done. But then it's kind of showing his, it's kind of showing his downside. You know what I mean? It's showing that his life is being portrayed as someone who could not stand on his own 2 feet without the, help of Cardi B or the help of the group. Now by himself, he's vulnerable. And this is what's happening now, So that situation is crazy right now. And, I could only hope that things don't get worse for this guy. But, like, Offset is really, at this point, just digging a hole for himself, So I don't know what's going to happen with Offset at this point. I know that if I was him, I would recommend him to either A, pay that girl back. And if you really can't pay her back, you better have a hell of a decent apology. For real. Like, at least apologize to this chick. You know what I'm saying? Because she's on there, like, spreading all type of tea about you. She's on there making you look like a fucking douchebag. You know what I'm saying? She's making you look broke. She's making you look like you can't do shit by yourself. And she's talking about you sexually and things that you like and don't like. And I don't want to get too much into it on the podcast. If y'all want to know more about that, definitely go check out that boy DJ Academics, because he talks a lot about the Celina Powell and Offset situation, and he was more close to Celina Powell, so he knows more about the situation as far as who she is and the type of person she is. Celina Powell also has a podcast, I think it's called like Two Girls from Mars or something like that, where she's actually talking about the situation with her and Offset and everything that happened, and she's giving in-depth detail about what was going on. So go check that out, and definitely, you'll definitely see what I'm talking about, and you'll find out more information about that. So, moving on from the Offset Celina Powell situation. So the big thing this week has been the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. So I know, like, if you haven't seen what's been happening recently as far as like what's going on in Minneapolis and what's going on in, the situation with these ICE raids, then you've been living under a rock, because this thing has been the biggest conversation topic of probably the past couple days now. The whole week has been about ICE and the shooting in Minneapolis. So we all familiar with what happens. ICE had a situation in Minneapolis where they was trying to do some raids and all that, and they ended up firing at this woman named Renee Good in her vehicle. She was backing up, pulling out, and then they tried to open the door to take her out of the vehicle. One of the ICE agents was in front of the vehicle and ended up shooting her 3 times in the head. So first off, I want to say rest in peace to Renee Good. I spoke about this a couple times on my TikTok. I spoke about this on Instagram. It really is sad. I didn't want to like give my opinion on like any other platform until I actually did the podcast. So I wanted to first, explain about what happened and why I feel like what happened was kind of like just crazy how it went down. But this is my personal feelings on how I feel about the situation. I saw the video, and I saw a bunch of videos from different angles of what they shown from how it all went down. I saw that, so 37-year-old Renee Good, she was in the vehicle. She was a mom, she was a poet, she likes to write, all these things. I saw, all this stuff. She recently moved to Minneapolis from Kansas City, Missouri. And she was coming out, pulling out, letting other cars pass, and then she was trying to pull out, and then that's when the ICE officer fired his shots through the window. And I've seen the different angles of where she was shot from and how he shot at her. I've spoken about this situation a bunch of times with different people. Everybody has their different opinions on it. For the most part, there's a lot of divide because there's some people, you know, the people who really feed into the things that the news or the media or the president says. You know, you have a lot of like Trump supporters. You have a lot of the you know, the Trump supporters who are saying, you know, the policeman was definitely, you know, valid in his actions because they're saying that she tried to run him over with the car and he acted how he should have acted, you know. And I just, like, me personally, I don't see that as accurate. Like, I feel like, so Kristi Noem, you know, who's, you know, the Secretary of Defense of ICE, she's the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security. She was on there expressing how, you know, the policeman, he acted due to his training. You know what I'm saying? He's trained to react to these situations. She also expressed that he was also in an incident before where he tried to detain somebody out their vehicle. He tried to open the door and I think he tried to open the window. No, I think he busted open the window to try to open the pedestrian's door to get him out of the vehicle. And the guy just drove off, dragging that same agent that fired at Kristi Noem and dragged him a couple feet, you know, up the block. And he received and sustained some injuries due to that situation. I saw the interviews. I saw, you know, when they were talking to Kristi Noem and how she explained about everything that officer been through. Now, this situation is different, right? He wasn't in the vehicle. He didn't try to bust open the window. He was just in front of the vehicle. You know, people keep saying, like, oh, you know, she tried to run him over with the vehicle. And if you try to run over a police officer and use your vehicle as a weapon, you know, you can't expect for a policeman to not protect themselves and protect their colleagues. Excuse me. I've been burping all morning. It's because of my breakfast this morning, so that's why I gotta have water. So they're saying that, you know, Renee tried to run over the police officer and she tried to use her vehicle as a weapon, and you can't expect that you're going to use your vehicle as a weapon and expect that police officials are not going to protect themselves and the people around them. Now, every time you watch the video and every time you watch the different angles of the video, you can see certain angles to where she pulled off and she tried to like turn the vehicle and everything, and he kind of leaned over and leaned in to fire his shots. And, you know, here's my take. My take is that this man was able to walk off from this situation, walk home to his family, see his family. Renee Good was not, right? So he left the scene unfazed, unharmed. Forget the bullshit that they try to feed you, saying that, oh, he went to the hospital because he went to the hospital, he almost didn't make it. Like, no, that's bullshit. If he did go to the hospital, if he did somehow have to go to the hospital to, you know, to deal with whatever, it's trauma. It's mental shit. It's not physical shit. He didn't get hit like that to the point where he was limping or to the point where he was hurt. He didn't get no injuries from that situation. That was all like a mental shit. If he did have to go to see some kind of hospital or to see some doctor, it was all like a therapist. Because he must have went through a mental break after taking the life of this woman. That's the only kind of physician or hospital I could see him, you know, looking into. I can't see him looking into something where he sustained some kind of physical injury because he wasn't harmed. He didn't get into no real physical altercation. It wasn't like she really hit him that hard, and if she did hit him, she backed up a little bit and pushed forward. That kind of nudge from a vehicle, it might hurt, but it's not gonna hurt to the point where you're like, your leg is broken, or you now can't walk, or you now gotta go in crutches or anything like that. I have a cousin who actually got hit, and she had to, you know, walk with crutches and everything. This was not the same type of situation. She was parked in a space. He was in front of the car. He moved to the side, and she went off. You know what I'm saying? If she did even hit him in any way, shape, or form, did he not leave that scene in a, you know, badly bruised or, you know, badly, you know, hurt? Like he didn't have no real serious injuries. He was able to get off those 3 shots, take this woman's life, and my whole thing is that shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have had to use his firearm in that whole situation. Like, I don't feel like in that situation a firearm or a gun was necessary to be drawn, because that's a situation that he could have moved to the side like he did, because he did move to the side, and then as he moved to the side, he pulled out and started shooting through her window. He could have moved to the side, and if they really wanted her that badly, they could have chased her off, they could have chased her down and got her, whatever. But she could have survived, you know what I'm saying? The fact that he took her life in that situation was uncalled for. And I'm sorry to say it was uncalled for. You know, but the only time, you know, a life should be taken that, you know, in that manner is if somebody is either A, really trying to harm you, whereas you feel it's life threatening. You know, she didn't have a weapon on her. She didn't draw any weapons on him. She wasn't coming at him full speed ahead. She was literally parked right in front of him and she sped off. He was not going to die. He was not going to get hurt. He was not going to be in that much of severe injury. He moved to the side and then started shooting at her. He was not going to be hurt in any way, shape, or form. He didn't have to use his weapon in that situation. I mean, again, there's a lot of people that believe, hey, she deserved this, she shouldn't have did this, she shouldn't have did that, and he was right for pulling his gun. Like, I feel like people are too quick to pull their guns. I feel like people are too quick to just take a gun out and start shooting at people and taking their life. And this is the problem we're having in society today, where people are just not valuing life as they should. Life is not something that, you know, you've been alive 37 years now, and then one morning now you wake up. I'm pretty sure Renee Good did not think that was going to be her last day on earth. I'm pretty sure that morning she did not wake up thinking, hey, I'm going to lose my life to an ICE officer today. Like, nobody thinks like that. You never wake up and think, oh, this is my last day on earth. This is what's going to happen to me today. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't something that I felt like was necessary. I think there was 1,000,001 ways they could have handled that situation. There was so many different ways that he could have detained Renee Good if he really wanted to detain her, or they could have gotten her if they really wanted to get her. They didn't need to take a gun out and start shooting at her and killing her, because he shot her at point blank range. This was not like something where he was trying to find a spot. No, he knew where he was aiming at. It's clear that I don't even know if she took 3 shots to the face, but what it looks like she took at least 1. 1 was good enough. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I just feel like, you know, they're really doing things that is just beyond the norm. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching, ever since that situation happened, there's been like a bunch of videos with like a bunch of ICE raids in Minneapolis. Minneapolis. There's been a bunch of ICE raids. Who else? In Minnesota, Bloomington, they had some situations going on with there. Yeah, so all these situations that are happening, there's like a bunch of ICE raids all over the place, and like I've been seeing the people on the ground recording the situations and everything that's been happening. ICE is getting a lot more aggressive now. Like, they're getting a lot more aggressive. They're getting agitated by, you know, these groups of protesters who are, anytime these protesters see ICE in the city or around their surrounding area, they are getting in their face. They're trying to fight them out of their city. They're trying to get them out of their city. People keep saying, "Oh, just let ICE do their job. Just let ICE do their job." But ICE is not supposed to harass, you know, citizens. You know what I'm saying? They're not supposed to harass people. They're not supposed to, you know, harm innocent people. And this is what's going on now. Like, because this is what the media is not showing. There are situations now that I'm seeing that ICE is actually detaining and arresting people just for protesting. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're having peaceful protests, you can potentially get arrested by an ICE officer or put in handcuffs. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's getting bad as far as the tension. You know, people are on edge right now, especially since this situation happened, because Renee Good was not a black woman. She was not Mexican. She was not Spanish. She was a white woman, clear as day. You know what I'm saying? She was white. And this was like, the reason why this is such an alarming situation is because, you know, I guess not a lot of people thought that this would happen to white people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought this was a, you know, a racial situation that just had to be, you know, that only like black people or Mexicans or, you know, certain minorities had to worry about the situation. But now we see that this is not just an isolated thing where it's just going towards a specific group of people. This is going towards everybody. Like, everybody's at risk now. Everybody is seen as a target as far as, you know, as far as getting detained, as far as getting arrested, or as far as losing their life. If you speak against or act against an agent doing his job, you are potentially in danger. You are potentially a threat to him. He can potentially do something to you, and now they're giving them full immunity for it. Like, Trump has already came and stated that the ICE officer that took the life of Renee Good is getting full immunity. You know, they're gonna make sure that he doesn't get in no type of trouble for this. The people are gonna fight to make sure that justice gets served, and, you know, because they want to see this officer. I think, let me see if I can find his name. Let me see. So the agent who shot Good was a member of a specialized trained tactical unit within ICE enforcement and removal operations. Was a senior Department of Homeland Security officials confirmed to CBS News. He was previously dragged by a car when trying to arrest a man in Bloomington, Minnesota, like I stated earlier. And apparently they gave his name, which is Jonathan Ross. So Jonathan Ross was the ICE agent that they said fired the shots and took the life of Renee Good. So this is all over the internet. This is all over the news media. And, you know, it's crazy, man. Like I said, you know, I just feel like in this situation right now, the governor of Minneapolis, you know, Tim Walz, they're all pushing for ICE and everything to be, you know, out of the city of Minneapolis. They, you know, nobody wants them in their city. And I just feel like at this point, it's gonna get worse if the president doesn't do anything. If he's not, because right now he done doubled down already on everything that's happened. He's already done claimed that, you know, he supports the ICE officer and what happened. He doesn't believe that he was at fault. He believes that, you know, this woman tried to take the officer's life by using her vehicle as a deadly weapon. So this is where the president is at. You know what I'm saying? And the tensions are high. You know, people are on edge, and they want ICE to get the fuck out. They want ICE to get the fuck out. And I can't, like, if I was ICE and if I was Kristi Noem, I feel like with everything that's happened, like, you just unalived this woman. You took her life, right? Point blank range. She's dead. She's never coming back. She's gone. People are fed up. People are frustrated. People are scared. Like, if I was ICE, I would, you know, if I was Kristi Noem or whoever is in charge of running that department, I would tell ICE, you know, fall back. Let's get out of the city. Let's regroup and let's come up with another strategy, because whatever we're trying to do is not working. I've seen them raid Minneapolis, and I've seen them raid other places, and I keep seeing them putting people in handcuffs. But my thing is, you know what I wanted to know? My question was, does ICE not have like a list that they go by? Like, does ICE not have like a list of people that they actually go by, that they can actually look for and go specifically for to detain? Or are they just doing this by questioning and harassing? Like, are you just going, because I seen another video where it was this I believe it was this cab driver. He was parked in like an airport or something like that, and it was also circling the internet, and they approached him and they was like, oh, are you a US citizen? Are you an immigrant? You know, and they was going, they was like, oh, because your accent don't sound like you're from here, you're from this country. And it's like, okay, so are you going by accents? Because you do understand that somebody could have an accent and still be an American citizen. Like, you can have an accent from another country but still be an American citizen. People have been here for years. They've gotten their citizenships. For years, they've gotten their green cards and all that stuff. So what makes you think just by somebody having an accent that they're not a U.S. citizen? Because if that's what you're going based off of, if you're just going based off of somebody's accent and the color of their skin, and you're just detaining them because of that, then this goes to show why there's so many people right now that's being detained and being arrested and deported by ICE that was innocent and that was a U.S. citizen. There's so many people that was already detained and, you know, put in jail, and they were U.S. citizens. You know what I'm saying? And when they asked Kristi Noem to answer for these situations, it's almost like she's it's almost like she's reading off of like a memorized script, right? She's not giving like general answers that you would expect for her to just be honest and open about the situation. It's almost like she was programmed to say a certain thing because she can't answer for shit. Like she doesn't have the right answers for what's going on. She's just trying to basically say, you know, oh, we have to follow the law, we have to go by what the president wants. And it's like, okay, but do you not realize that you are arresting people that have nothing to do with this? Like, you're taking people in that are U.S. citizens. You're taking in children. You're taking in little kids. You're taking in, you know, older people that's been in America for years and that been American citizens. You know, there's people here that are immigrants, but they're legal. So you're detaining them illegally. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't make sense of what's going on, you know? And it really is sad that Renee Good lost her life over all this. She wasn't out there, from what I've seen. I mean, maybe, I don't know what happened before, but she wasn't out, as far as I can tell, she wasn't out there protesting. She wasn't out there doing anything wrong. She was just trying to get out of a situation. And, you know, he's trying to open her door. First of all, that's another thing that I don't like. I don't like that these officers are just opening doors, busting windows, trying to take people out their vehicle. Like what at what length are these officers trying to, you know, arrest people? Like, how far are they willing to take this situation? Like, how do you wake up in the morning and say, this is what you're going to do for your job every day? You're going to break somebody's car window, you're going to open their door, take them out. Like, what? Where's the freedom in America? Like, do we not have any rights no more? It's almost like our rights are just being stripped away from us. Like our amendments and our legal rights are just being taken away because, you know, why is it that these officers are just literally stripping us of our human rights and just doing things to us that shouldn't be done? Nobody should have the right to go up to you and just freaking take you out of your vehicle by force. And this is what's been going on with these ICE agents. You know what I mean? They're doing every and anything to get their job done, and a lot of things they're doing are not, you know, legal. It's not accurate. It's not right. It's wrong on all accounts. And I just feel like had they not scared this woman, had this woman not be afraid of what was going on, you know, this wouldn't have happened. And it's just sad because I personally don't feel like she should have lost her life in that situation. I feel like it was wrong. I feel like there was so many different ways they could have handled that situation. And, you know, it's just really sad, you know, that this is where we are in America, you know. And it's you know, I was watching the award shows for the Golden Globes yesterday. I'm gonna actually talk about that next, but I was watching the Golden Globe Award. Everybody's wearing those Be Good pins. Those are assigned for, let me see. They were saying that those are like, you know, the people are wearing those Be Good pins as a statement, you know, for ICE. So let's see. Mark Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes wear Be Good ICE Out pins at Golden Globes in honor of Renee Good, mother killed by ICE agents. So, you know, those were like, so Mark Ruffalo actually spoke out about that, you know, and it's to the point where even celebrities can't really hold their tongue about how they feel about this situation. You know, like before, like a lot of people would not really talk about stuff like this. It almost felt like people were like, you know, just being quiet and ignoring it and putting a blind eye to it. It's like when this was going on, everybody was Stevie Wonders, but now everybody's kind of coming out and talking about their feelings towards everything that's going on. Mark Ruffalo came out and talked about it. Wanda Sykes is saying stuff about it. You know, you have, I think Billie Eilish was on there saying some stuff about ICE and how, you know, how she felt about the situation. So it's just like, it's just crazy, you know. It's just crazy what's going on. You know, everybody is feeling really strongly about the situation, and I honestly can't say I blame them. You know what I'm saying? Because now, like I said, this is. I guess it's sad to say, but let's be honest. It's even more alarming when you see it happen to a white person. Let's be honest, because it almost feels like black people are so used to seeing law enforcement do something to other black people. So it's like when we see it, we're upset about it, we get fed up about it, but it's almost like it's normal at this point. It's almost like we treat it as a norm. Like, oh, this happened, oh, it happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? But when you see this happen to a white person, even the Stranger Things star Joe Carey called out Trump about his response towards ICE and what he said. He don't even like what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So people in the industry, people in the media, and celebrities and famous actors and all this, even they're feeling some type of way about what's going on in America and how Trump is addressing the public. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't show any decency, any human decency. It's, you know, he's talking about his morale and how and his goals and his agendas and what he's trying to push out there, but at the end of the day, he's disregarding this woman's life as she was like some kind of like a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like a domestic terrorist. And it's really sad because, you know, this woman lost her life for nothing. At the end of the day, you know, everybody, all those ICE agents were able to leave that scenario. I even seen the clip where there was a doctor in the there was a doctor there that when this situation occurred, and he tried to kind of like let them know, like, hey, I'm a doctor, let me go check her to make sure to see if she has a pulse or something. They wouldn't let him go. They wouldn't let him do that. They said, oh, we have doctors here, we have doctors on site, stand back, but there was no doctor there. A doctor probably didn't show up till minutes later, or, you know, that at that point she was already gone. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, when you get shot like that, in a situation like that, every minute is crucial. Every second counts. You know, the faster you can get somebody assistance is the better, because if you take too long to get that person assistance, their life is gradually going to decline. You know what I'm saying? By the time the doctor that the ICE agents had came to that situation, she was already gone. They pronounced her dead at the hospital. She'd been gone. You know what I'm saying? They found stuffed animals. The dog that she had in the car, I heard that the dog was alright. What was kind of funny to me was like when they showed the body camera of the ICE agent, and they showed how he aimed and fired into her car window. I was reading the comments and everybody was like concerned about the dog. Everybody was like, yo, is the dog okay? Is the dog alright? Like, I saw people talk about that for like probably the whole day. Everybody was talking about, they was just so concerned for the dog. But we do have reports and confirmation that the dog is alive and well. The dog is okay. The dog is with Renee Good's partner that she was with at the time. So then there's that. But yeah, I mean, you know, people are fed up. People are tired. People are scared. And people want things to feel safe. People want to feel safe. People want things to be handled in a way that isn't led with brute force or harassment. You know, obviously nobody wants their neighbor, nobody wants their friend, nobody wants people that they know in their neighborhood to just get pulled out their house and be detained and taken away from their families. But at this point, it almost feels like, you know, people should just let the ICE agents do their job. But then what happens when doing your job leads into innocent lives being lost? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're past that now. I feel like we're past letting ICE just come into the city just to do their job, just to do whatever. We're at the point of no return, where it's like, all right, we would have tried that, or we could have tried that, but now you did something that kind of like raised the red flag. So now we don't even want you here, and we're gonna fight, and we're gonna do what we have to do to get you out of here. And that's the way I see it. Like, now at this point, they don't even want ICE to come into the city. They don't want ICE to come in there harassing people. They're gonna fight, and they're gonna try to get ICE, you know, out of their city tooth and nail as much as possible. So, you know, all I could say is it's really sad that she lost her life. I really do wish that this could have been handled in a different, you know, orderly fashion. But, you know, sadly it went the way it did, and it really is crazy the way that happened. So you know, I wish that, I do hope that everybody can like kind of protest peacefully, you know, and I hope that everybody can get their point across and get their voices, you know, out there without having to worry about, you know, being harassed or being arrested by ICE agents. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to get arrested. Nobody wants to lose their life for protesting, and nobody wants to lose their life for, you know, for having a voice. You know what I'm saying? So right now, it's just like, everybody's on edge, and I just hope everybody just can do their protest peacefully and not have to worry about anything happening to them in the long run. Because that woman didn't need to lose her life. That woman deserved. If the worst that could have happened was they could have arrested her. You know what I'm saying? But for her to just get done like that by an ICE agent, I don't think that was right. I really don't. I feel like that was crazy. You know, and now we just gotta wait and see what happens next. But like I said, I just feel like this situation will only get from bad to worse if it continues on any more like this. Especially in a place like Minneapolis. Like right now, Minneapolis is really not happy with what happened, and they're on 10 right now. They're going nuts right now. So let's just see what happened, man. So one thing I want to talk about, you know, and I'm not gonna be like, it's not gonna be like the longest topic, but so I've seen a few of these AI memes that's been going on, and they have some crazy memes right now with Trump, right? So I saw one that they had where like they were basically explaining how Trump was explaining the situation of what happened when he went to apprehend the president of Venezuela. So I seen like a couple of memes for that. Whoever's coming up with these AI generated memes, these guys are diabolical and they have to be stopped. I'm gonna say it right now. Like whoever's coming up with the AI generated memes, you guys gotta be stopped. You guys are bugging the fuck out. Because the meme that I saw with Trump on Instagram, I'm trying to see if I can find it, was just like insane. I think they had the one with 6ix9ine, where they had like Trump talking about what happened and how he apprehended the president, and he was basically and they had the voiceover by 6ix9ine. Let me see if I can find it. If I could, I'll put it up here. Trump talks about Venezuela. Let's see, Trump. Alright, so this one, I don't know whose voice this is. I don't know whose voiceover this is. I was thinking that this was like the Freaky Zeke interview that Freaky Zeke did, but I'm not sure. I gotta look into it. But this is the first one. So let me turn this one on. Alright, so hold up. Let me go back. Alright.
I see like 3-4 niggas running through the crib, all black, mask on, running through the crib and shit. One nigga run to the front door. I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot the nigga. Bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow. All the niggas run out the door, they run out the door. This nigga on the floor. I see like 3-4 niggas.
Yo, and here's the thing. Like, so it's Trump on how he captured Maduro. How are these guys doing this, right? Like, these AI generated memes are, because when I first saw this, I'm not gonna lie to you, at first when you first look at it, you really think it's real. You can't tell if it's real or fake because it looks so real. You have to hear what he's saying to like, no, alright, there's no way Trump said this. This is not real. But I watched it and like, there's a couple more of these that I'm gonna get into. I don't know whose voice this is. I gotta see if it's in the comments, but Amber Rose commented on it. Timberland is laughing about it. This post already has, let me see how many views this thing has. This thing already has 1 million likes, 28,000 comments. So this is up. These are up there. These are up there. And I'm not sure if, I don't know who that is. Let me know who that is. That voice that they're using. But that one is funny. And then they got the next one where he did the where they used the 6ix9ine voice. Play that.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck nigga, I stole that shit. And I stole it. Like, bro, but niggas don't understand. I told facts. Like, I told facts.
Don't even deny it. That's cool.
I talk facts. What the line? What, nigga? Give me that, nigga.
Okay.
You know when a nigga got a girl, her shit fat. Bro,
Yo.
You don't know what to do with that. Give me that.
And the thing about this AI stuff is like, it looks so believable. Like when I first saw it, I was like, yo, why does it look so real? But that shit is hilarious. Like funny. They have a few other ones. They have the one where he did the with Dave Chappelle show, when Dave Chappelle did the one with the oil. Let me play that one for you guys.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? You say something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
What about people?
So yeah, AI is definitely getting out of hand, man. But yo, shout outs to whoever's creating these Trump memes, because these memes are hilarious. There's one more that I wanted to play. This one, he's on the couch. I think this might be the Freaky Zeke one. I'm not sure, but let me check this one out. You could fact check me in the comments if I'm not right about this one. This one is funny too. Let's play this one.
The shit jammed. Or whatever they did, once it stopped, I spun the nigga around and I put the nigga in a full Nelson. Two niggas was over there that was down there, pulled out the hammer.
Pulled out the
nigga right here. Pulls out the hammer.
Yo.
I said.
Watch when he spins kicks his feet up on the
I
couch.
must have had the nigga so tight, the nigga swung his body to the side. And that's how
Yo!
oh! The shit jammed.
Oh my god, yo, that shit is hilarious. Yo, when I first saw this joint, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was on the floor in tears. Like literal tears. Like I seen that shit and I was just like, yo, whoever has the time, let me tell you something, whoever has the time to sit down and create these AI generated memes of Trump, first of all, you're diabolical as hell, and second of all, get a life, alright? Because you you obviously have nothing better to do at this point, because that is just crazy. But yo, man, yeah, these Trump memes are funny as hell. So yeah, we got a bunch of memes with Trump online right now. So if you want to check those out, you can definitely go on Instagram. Just put it like Trump memes and you'll probably see them pop up. But I mean, it's not too far from the truth. You know, a lot of people feel like nowadays Trump is running the damn country like you know, a hood member. Like he's like he's in the streets. You know what I'm saying? The way he's like over here robbing countries for their resources, taking presidents out of their homes and shit. You know what I mean? He's almost running the country like a damn a G nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not acting. He's not moving like your typical normal, you know, president would. You know what I'm saying? But shout outs to AI for that, man, because that shit is hilarious. The last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up the podcast today is I want to talk about Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet has had an incredible week, I could say. He recently won 2 awards. So the first award, I believe, was the Critics' Choice Award. That was for, I think, Best Actor. And he won the award for Marty Supreme. So Timothy Chalamet. Let me see. Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, I think he won. He definitely beats Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. He beat Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Let me just read this article. This was from the Daily News. So Timothy Chalamet declares his love for Kylie Jenner as he beats Leonardo DiCaprio and Michael B. Jordan. And I'm just trying to see exactly which award did he take. Him, you know, they're trying to, they're definitely showing a lot of him and a lot of Kylie Jenner together lately. You know what I'm saying? And as far as I know, like Timothy Chalamet right now and Kylie Jenner are like the 2 it couples on social media. Like everybody has their eyes on that couple right now. They're like the hottest couple on social media right now. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see Timothy, you see Kylie, and they're always together. You know, he's always showing her love, and they've been like really close lately. So You know, he's definitely been in the spotlight a lot lately, and not just him, but Kylie. So, Timothy Chalamet Award for Critics' Choice Award. Yeah, he won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor, and that was for The Marty Supreme. And recently, he also won the awards for the Golden Globe. So the Golden Globe Awards, Timothy Chalamet won his first Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. Yeah, so he won for Best Actor for Marty Supreme as well. So he's been killing it. Like, and this is all in the space of this year. He won the Best Actor, Musical Comedy, Marty Supreme. This is his first Golden Globe win after several nominations. So he's been nominated a few times, but he's never actually won. This is actually his first actual Golden Globe Award, and he won the Critics' Choice Award. And a lot of people feel like Michael B. Jordan was snubbed over this. Ryan Coogler, I believe, who actually directed Sinners, a lot of people are kind of upset at the fact that they didn't win, any real big awards. I think they won like the most. I think they won the best, like the most money that was brought in for the box office. Let me just make sure. Sinners Golden Globe Awards. So Sinner took home. Let me see. Sinner took home, the Golden Globe Awards for most money in the box office, I believe. But a lot of people feel like, Michael B. Jordan should have won for Best Actor. Ryan Coogler should have got like the best, director or something like that. And it just seems like Timothy Chalamet. It almost feels like Hollywood has their focus primarily on Timothy Chalamet. Like, they primarily is giving him all of the shine right now. He's winning all of the awards right now. And this is all for a movie that's been out in the space of just, less than a month now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been less than a month. The movie hasn't even been out that long, and, he has been winning like several awards. He has been nominated for several awards. Sinners was directed by Ryan Coogler, won the Golden Globe Award for Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. So that's basically just an award for, them making how much money they basically pulled into the box office. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really give Michael B. Jordan anything. He didn't win any awards. He got nominated. I would be pissed if I was Michael B. Jordan and I was nominated for all these awards and I didn't win any. That's crazy. That has to say something. You know what I'm saying? The other things that they was nominated for was Best Motion Picture. They was nominated for Best Director. They was nominated for Best Screenplay, Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture, Best Original Song. I Lied to You. And they only won the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award, which I just think, granted they made a shit ton of money in the box office, but I feel like Best Director Ryan Coogler should have definitely won that. Best Screenplay, Best Performance by Male Actors, those three awards should have definitely been at least, if not, they definitely should have took those home. That's to how I feel personally about it. Like, if I could be real with you, I personally feel like those awards they should have taken home. You know what I'm saying? But at least they was able to win one award, and the night wasn't a complete total loss. But the way my intuitive nature, like the way I feel about it, I just felt like if you're gonna nominate me for all these awards, I better be bringing home at least one. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't give Michael B. Jordan any of those awards. Ryan Coogler should have won Best Director. He did not. So, the Critics' Choice Awards, they got snubbed, and the Golden Globes, I feel like they did the same thing. It was like, why waste my time? Why have me nominated and show up for these awards if I'm not going to win any? And what's even more crazy is they also had this award for podcast. And I was interested in seeing that because they had I didn't know the Golden Globe Award was doing podcasts, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was giving out awards for best podcasts. So they introduced a new Best Podcast of the Year category for the 83rd Awards for the Golden Globe Awards. And the nominees were Armchair Expert, Call Her Daddy, Good Hang with Amy Fowler, and Mel Robbins podcast, and Smartless and Up First. I know none of these people. I've never heard of these. I've never heard of these podcasts in my life. But what came to my surprise was that there was no Joe Rogan and there was no Joe Budden's podcast. At least to see Joe Rogan, I was completely thrown for a loop there. I had no, like, to not see Joe Rogan in that category of nominations for Best Podcast when he has like the most popular podcast right now. And then you have people like Joe Budden, who also has like one of the most popular podcasts, especially for the black community. It was just shocking to see these were the nominations and exactly who won. And the winner was Good Hang with Amy Fowler. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. Like, I don't even know who that is. I've never seen her podcast before, but I'm pretty sure she's probably like famous amongst like, you know, the white folks, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never seen her podcast. But, you know, it is good that they actually do have that category because podcasting has become a thing and people are now getting into podcasting. So that's definitely something that I feel like, you know, is great to see that they're actually awarding people that are putting in so much time and so much work to actually put in that effort and talk about things that's going on in the world and, you know, what's going on in media and everything like that. So, but I've never heard of that podcast before. Though all those podcasts, I've checked them out and they do have like a decent following for the most part, but it's not. I have not heard of any of those podcasts until the Golden Globe Awards actually introduced me to those podcasts. So that was just news to me. But yeah, I mean, you know, let me just say that I still feel like, you know, Michael B. Jordan should have taken home the Best Director award, but I saw, what's the movie called? I saw Marty Supreme. And I will say that Timothée Chalamet did a great job in that movie. I gotta give respect, you know, to him as far as his work and how much hard work he's actually putting in, being an actor and delivering such amazing performances. Like, aside from Dune, he definitely showed a different side of his acting ability in Marty Supreme. And Marty Supreme takes place in New York City. You know, I did a review on this already, but basically, to make it a long story short, he's basically portraying a person, Marty Reisman, who was actually a real person in New York City, lived and died in New York, and he was a professional table tennis player. And Marty Supreme basically tells his story with a little bit of twist here and there. They also had let me just see, Marty Supreme. So they also had Odessa Azion. They had Gwyneth Paltrow, which was interesting to see. I spoke about this actually at the review. I didn't know that Gwyneth Paltrow was in this movie. I found out when I watched it. I knew Tyler, the Creator, was in it. I knew Odessa Azion was in it. I didn't know Gwyneth Paltrow was in it. That was you know, I was surprised when I saw her actually in the movie. Great movie. I think he did a great job. I think he had a great role. I think he did a lot of, you know, practice for this, and I think he prepared for it very well. And he did a great job. I just feel like, as far as like comparison to Michael B. Jordan's The Sinners, where you have this guy, you know, who's playing one person compared to somebody who's playing two different characters, I just felt like it would have been a no-brainer to see Michael B. Jordan have win and brought home that award for Best Actor or Best Male Performer. But you know, I see right now that Hollywood just have their eyes set on sometimes in acting in Hollywood, you'll find that certain actors are just put into certain positions where they are given the spotlight, and you have to acknowledge the fact that he's dating Kylie Jenner, who's a billionaire, who's like, you know, one of the richest, probably if not the richest white girl right now, or one of the richest white people right now. I mean, obviously that has to play a part as to why he's getting so much attention. You know, that plays a big part as to why he's getting the recognition that he's getting today. Not saying that he's not a great actor. I think he's a great actor. I think he does a great job with, you know, what he's doing right now is amazing. But I just feel like there's a lot more to what's going on with Timothée Chalamet, aside from him just being an actor. It's more along the lines of who he's associated himself with, right? But it was good to see that, at least they didn't go home completely empty-handed as far as Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and the cast of The Sinners, because they did a great job for that movie. So it was good to see they at least won something, but that's like a collective award. It's not like a singled out award. It's something that they all put together and they all deserve as a coherent unit. So it was good to see that they brought home something, because like I said, I would have felt crazy if I got nominated for all these different categories and all these different awards and I didn't bring home anything. That would have made me want to fucking throw somebody out of a window or something, right? So, but yeah, man, shout outs to everybody that, attended that, the Golden Globe Awards. Shout outs to everybody, all the winners, all the nominees, everybody that actually took home something, and everybody that actually, showed up and showed out. Shout outs to also, what's her name? Tiana Taylor. Shout outs to Tiana. Tiana Taylor won an award for the Golden Globes yesterday. She won for, I think, Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globe Award. So, yeah, Tiana Taylor wins Best Supporting Actress for the Golden Globe Awards and that's her first Golden Globe Awards. So, this is Tiana Taylor's actual first Golden Globe Award. And, I think it was well deserved. It's just, the only thing I would say about her winning that award is, so she won Best Supporting Actress, beating out heavyweights Emily Blunt, Ellie Fanning, Ariana Grande, Amy Madison. I'm surprised, and Inga Ibs' I'm surprised she beat Ariana Grande. What was Ariana Grande nominated for? It must have been Wicked. But that movie, one battle after another. Yeah, I'm glad she won the award. Congrats to Tiana Taylor. I'm just surprised she won that award, because really, honestly and truly, her role really was not that long in that movie. It was a pretty short role, right? That movie was probably like almost 2 hours long, and Tiana Taylor only had I would say maybe 30 to 40 minutes of screen time on that movie. But her presence definitely was felt. If you watch the movie, she definitely had a strong leading, presence in that role. But once she took off, and then now it's focusing on Leonardo DiCaprio and his daughter and everything. Go watch the movie if you haven't seen the movie. It's a great movie. I think it's on HBO right now, HBO Max. But definitely go check the movie out. But Tiana Taylor didn't really have that deep of a role in that movie. But still, I feel like when she was on screen, it was definitely a strong presence that she portrayed for that character. So I definitely agree with her getting an award. And plus, Tiana Taylor is a great actor. She's a great person. She's a great human being. She works hard. She works very hard. So I'm not gonna argue with her getting that award. So shout outs to, again, all the winners, all the nominees for taking home their awards and actually showing up and getting nominated. You work hard, so definitely it's great to see that some people actually did win and some people actually did get recognized for the hard work that they put out in all these movies and all these shows. I think Seth Rogen also was a winner yesterday. Shout out to Seth Rogen. Let me see what Seth Rogen won. Seth Rogen Golden Globe Award. He beat. Oh, and I think Seth Rogen beat Martin Sheen or something like that. Who did Seth? Let me see. Seth Rogen. So Golden Globes crowned Seth Rogen Best Actor for the studio. In a moment that mirrors the spirit of his comedy shows, Seth Rogen earned the 2026 Golden Globe for Best Male Actor in a Comedy Series for the studio. I didn't know Seth Rogen was even doing that. So that actually shined some light on that, because I thought Seth Rogen kind of took a break from directing. I didn't know. The last thing I know that Seth Rogen did was the movie that he did with Keanu Reeves. He did that movie, Keanu Reeves, with the where Keanu Reeves was like a guardian angel. I also did a review on that movie. The timing is especially fitting as the series have devoted an entire episode to a satire awards ceremony, bringing in Gene Smart, Adam Scott, and Ted Sarandos for playful self-parodies. He beat Steve Martin and Martin Short, which is crazy, you know. So that's wild. Like Steve Martin, Martin Short, like for Seth Rogen to actually win an award over those guys was actually a big, you know, achievement. So definitely shout out to Seth Rogen, man, because he's been putting in a lot of work too. So, you know, let me see. The episode the actor is referring to is where he said what he said. He took to the stage with an emotional acceptance speech saying, "This is so weird, we just pretend to do this and now it's happening. I thought the only way I would get to hold one is to create a show to give myself a fake one," he said as he held on to the award firmly. The episode the actor is referring to is where Seth Matt Remick desperately schemes for a public shout-out from Zoe Kravitz during her acceptance speech, while fellow exit Sal Saperstein is casually praised and celebrated by the night's winner. The category was presented by Zoe and Dave Franco, both of whom also appeared as themselves on the hit Apple TV series Embracing Seth as he accepted the award. So, yeah, man, shout out to Seth Rogen, man. Shout outs to all the nominees. Shout outs to all the winners. You know, the Golden Globes was pretty decent. It was pretty interesting. I just feel like there was things in Hollywood that you can't change. You know, you're always going to be seen as the lesser, more important actor. Especially, it's hard for black actors. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a black actor, it's very hard for you to win. You have to do twice as much as some of these, you know, white actors. You know what I mean? So, I was saying it yesterday, like, not every white person saw The Sinners and said, hey, The Sinners is my favorite movie of the year. You know what I mean? That's mainly a black movie. That movie was made specifically for anybody, but you can really honestly see that black people really love The Sinners a lot more than white folks, which is fine. I'm sure white folks have movies they love more than we do. You know, that's just how it is. But, you know, I'm sure Michael B. Jordan will have his day at some point in time. Right now, Hollywood just looks like their main focus is on Timothy Chalamet. You know, but everybody, that's all the time I got for this podcast today. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe as it'll help grow my channel. I'm going to try to be more consistent with this podcast. I'm going to try to, you know, show out, you know, do more, put out more as I go along. Like I said, I'm just starting this off, so we're still working on everything. We're still getting used to it. We're still getting comfortable. We're still, you know, working out all the details. And once this thing starts to get a little bit more, you know, further and more ahead and more popular, and once people start like watching more of this, then, you know, hopefully I could actually put out more at a specific time frame, and I don't have to, you know, tell you guys an excuse or anything like that. I just want to be as consistent as I can with putting out as much content as I humanly possibly can. So thank you guys for watching this podcast. This is episode 3. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel at Hidden Token 1. Also, you can check me out on TikTok at Real Cool Boy with 2 Y's 1. But that's all the time I got today. Till next time, everybody, take care.